I think we're going to go ahead and begin. We want to honor everybody's time, and I'm not seeing anyone else in the waiting room. So if you're all set, then we can go ahead and start. Thank you for
Alrighty,
joining.
well, thank you for the individuals that have shown up. My name is Lieutenant Michael LaRoche. I'm with Pasco Corrections. I've been working here 23 years, and I'm just here to talk to you about careers in corrections, being a corrections officer. Um, I work in the local jail here in Pasco County. It's in Land O'Lakes, and we're looking to hire um, about 100 officers in the next 2 years because we're expanding the jail. Can everybody see where my mouse is? I don't know if they can see that, where my cursor is. If you can, we're going to be
Yes.
expanding.
Yes, you
Thank,
can see it.
thank you. Oh, and feel free to ask questions as we're going through this. It helps me out if I'm not explaining something well or something like that. So please just interject and ask any questions you want. But this is our facility. We house about 1,500 inmates here in Pasco County, and where my cursor is, we're going to be adding on a whole new facility here in the front, which means we have to staff that facility. So this is why I'm here to let you know that being a corrections officer is a great career, lots of benefits, good pay, um, and I'll move on. So why would you want to come work for Pasco Corrections? The biggest thing is that academy sponsorship, right? So we will sponsor you, send you to school, to send you to the academy at PHSC over in Dade City, and we'll pay for you to go to the sponsorship to the academy, and we'll also pay you a salary while you're going to that academy. It benefits, all that stuff. Competitive salary. I'll talk about that in another slide. You'll also be, and I know you may be younger, but you look to the future, right? Florida retirement system. So you're building a retirement for your future. So you don't have to work your whole life, and you'll have money when it comes time to retire. Paid time off, which is essentially vacation time. So you earn that time as the years go on and the months go on, months and years go on, and you can take time off and go on vacation. You can, if you're sick, you can call in sick if you need to. We don't like that a lot, right? But you can call in sick. Health benefits, medical, dental, vision, um, life insurance, all that type of stuff. Shift differential pay. And what that means is that when you're working night shift, you'll get paid a little bit more than those individuals that are working on day shift. And I'll go over that also. Tuition reimbursement. So the county will pay for you to go to college. So you go to college, you pay the fees up front, and then depending on the grade you get in that class, the county will reimburse you those fees. Currently, we're getting a retention bonus because we need staffing, so they're trying to keep us here, right? So they're giving us some extra money every month to retain us. And education bonuses. So if you currently have a degree or you're working towards a degree and you obtain that degree, the county and FDLE will pay you extra money for that too. And then career advancement opportunities. If you're young and you want to move up in rank, you want to move out into different areas of the jail, we have a booking area, we have investigations, training units, we have a tactical team like a SWAT team and patrol. So there's lots of career advancement opportunities available. And this is what you need to apply. You need a great attitude and a willingness to learn, right? We need good people that want to learn and have a good attitude. You only need to be 18 years old to work in corrections to start out. Law enforcement, you need to be 19, 20 years old. And if you want to be law enforcement, that's fine. But I would always recommend that, get a start in corrections because you learn how to talk to people. You learn respect because we're not allowed to bring guns and stuff like that into the facility, right? So it's a good place to start if law enforcement is your choice and you're just too young to go to that law enforcement academy and get certified in law enforcement. You need your high school diploma or GED. You need to pass all the FDLE requirements, and those FDLE requirements are I got to read those here. Successfully pass a background investigation to include drug testing, pass a physical examination by a licensed physician, physician's assistant, have to be fingerprinted, have a good moral character determined by a background investigation, have not received a dishonorable discharge from any armed forces of the United States, no felonies, no misdemeanors involving perjury, We do a full background investigation, be a citizen of the United States, and of course, like I said, be at least 18 years of age. So if you don't know, what does a corrections officer do? Corrections officers are responsible for the supervision, care, custody, control, and physical restraint when necessary of inmates in correctional institution or a detention facility. So we run a detention facility. We're not a state prison. So the individuals that we have in custody here in the jail are what we call pretrial detainees. For the most part, they're awaiting trial. They're innocent until proven guilty. So there's a little bit of a different way to handle those individuals. So what you'd be doing on a daily basis is enforcing rules and regulations to maintain order within the jail. So just like in a classroom, um, you're in charge of 50, 60 inmates, and you're patrolling that housing unit, in that housing unit with those inmates, creating that rapport, talking with them, making sure that they're abiding by the rules and regulations of the facility. We can utilize different tactics to discipline them. You write them up, they have a hearing. If they're found guilty, they get locked. We call it lockdown. You could call it detention, something like that. Supervise activities of the inmates. So that would be like recreation, or going to see medical programs. They go to church. They get their GEDs. They go to Alcoholics Anonymous. So we supervise those type of activities. Inspect the facility, ensure they meet security and safety concerns standards. Right. So, excuse me. We're always looking to make sure that the facility is safe and secure, that nothing's broken, that there's no way for the inmates to escape, stuff like that. Search inmates for contraband. That would be like pat downs, frisking, making, actually, touching the inmate, patting them down, and making sure they don't have any contraband on them. Doing cell searches and area searches to make sure there's no contraband, weapons, drugs, stuff of that nature. Report inmate conduct. And like I said before, if you're enforcing those rules and regulations, you have to write reports to justify the reason why you're holding them accountable for violating those rules or regulations. We escort inmates and transport inmates. So we escort them to the hospital. We escort them to doctor's appointments. We transport inmates to court. We transport inmates to other counties. So that's what we do. Intake release. What that means is that when a law enforcement officer on the streets arrests somebody, they bring them here to the jail and we process them in. We take their fingerprints, we take their pictures, we run them for wants and warrants. They see the nurse, and that's just a little bit of a down and dirty of what we do to process that inmate. Pics, prints, fingerprints, and then we release people back to the public. If they bond out, they pay a cash bond, and we release them. If they are sentenced to county time and their sentence is done, then we release them. That's the type of stuff we do there. Any questions so far? So when you go to the Corrections Academy, these are the core classes that you would take. Introduction to Corrections, and included in Introduction to Corrections, you talk about a lot of legal aspects. Communications would be report writing, how to talk on the radio, stuff like that. Officer safety, we're going to educate you on how to be safe, what to look for, not to have somebody behind you if it's at all possible, what to look for to keep you safe and keep your fellow officers safe. Facility equipment, that's a lot of stuff, right? So that could be anything from your taser to your radio to your pepper spray to your vest that you wear, your bulletproof vest that you wear when you're outside the facility. So any kind of facility equipment that we utilize, right? We talked about intake release. You're going to learn about that in the academy too. Supervising in a correctional facility, one of the main parts of our job, right? Care, custody, and control. That's the one thing they're going to hammer home to you, is that we're here to care for the inmates, keep them in custody, and control them, and make sure they're not, being a problem or rioting or anything like that. Supervising special populations, and typically what you're talking about there is some of the inmates we have are mentally ill. We have medical units. We have inmates that are on what we call administrative segregation, where they're just a behavior problem and they can't get along in the general population. So we have to lock them down and we supervise them differently. We do have some violent inmates that we have to treat differently. So you'll learn about that. Responding to incidents and emergencies is exactly what it says. How to properly respond to an inmate fight, a riot, or any kind of medical emergency situation, a fire, you're going to learn about that. First aid, we're first responders, and typically we're the first ones on scene. We do have nurses and medical in the facility, but we're the first ones on scene. So you need to know how to do CPR, need to learn how to stop the bleed, stuff like that. Criminal justice firearms, you're going to learn how to shoot, pistol, shotgun, and qualify. And defensive tactics, you need to learn how to fight. You need to learn how to defend yourself, and in a housing unit. Officer wellness and physical abilities. So that basically is just PT, right? Physical fitness. So you'll do a little bit of physical fitness in the Corrections Academy. And then once that Corrections Academy is completed, you will take a state examination, because you have to be state certified corrections officer in the state of Florida, and that's a test that the Criminal Justice Standards and Training Commission develops, and you'll have to take that and pass that and become certified. And once you've done all that, you're now a corrections officer. And then what we do is that's about 3 months long, 4 months long. And then once you've passed your state certification exam, we bring you into the jail and we pair you up with what we call a field training officer. And for 10 weeks, you're with that field training officer inside the facility, learning the job, on the job, like on the job training, right? Salary, get to the money. So while you're going to the academy, we're going to pay you $21.15 an hour. Once you graduate, become a certified corrections officer, your starting salary is $52,000 a year. Now add to that $100 per check throughout the year, 26 paychecks a year. And that's an additional $2,600 on top of that $52,000. The night shift differential pay is $25 a night. So if you split the year in half, 365 days, that adds up to another $4,500. And then the 12 paid holidays. So when you're working shift work, whether you have that day, whether you work that day, if that's your scheduled day to work or not, you're going to get paid an additional 8.5 hours of holiday pay when you work on a holiday. So add another $2,400 to that. And then if you work overtime, you're going to get paid at time and a half. So it's whatever that hourly rate, like that $21.15 an hour, and then cut that in half, add those two together, and that's what you'll be getting paid when you're working overtime. So if you add all those numbers up, you end up making in your first year around $61,500. So that's a pretty good start as an 18-year-old, in my opinion. But I'm trying to sell it here, right? PTO, you're in that too, right? Vacation time. So retirement, Florida retirement system. You do 30 years and you retire with a good retirement. And also while you're in the Florida retirement system, we have other options here where you can put your own money away into what we call deferred compensation retirement plans, like 401ks or IRAs. I don't know if any of you know what those are, but you're basically putting your own money away for the future, in addition to what the county is putting into your Florida retirement system. So it's a really good benefit and something to look forward to after a career. Health benefits. We have medical insurance. There's a lot of different options for that. Dental insurance, vision insurance, flexible spending accounts, and what those are is you can put money into a flexible spending account and you can utilize that money for any health costs you may have. Employee assistance programs, those are for officer wellness. If you need any type of financial assistance, or if you want to go to counseling or anything like that, that's what an employee assistance program is, because we want to make sure our officers' mental and physical health is good, right? Life insurance, it's always a good thing to have. And then we have employee wellness centers in the county that you can go to instead of maybe going to a doctor. They're like clinics, right? And they're free of charge. So you can go there and get prescription medications, you can get blood work done, all those types of things. And here's those education benefits I was talking about. I talked briefly about the tuition reimbursement. You go to college while you're working full time. The county will pay you to go to college. And then once you receive you get monthly bonuses for those degrees that you earn. So if you earn an associate's degree, every month you get an additional $75 in your paycheck. So, multiply that times 12. If you receive your bachelor's degree, you're going to get $150 a month in your paycheck. If you attain your master's degree, you're going to get $200 a month. And then in addition to that, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement has monthly incentive pay that they also pay. So $30 a month for associate's degree, $50 a month for bachelor's degree or higher, and $20 for every 80 hours of advanced training. And what they mean by advanced training is there's certain classes that you can take that FDLE recognizes, like emergency preparedness for first responders. And for every 80 hours of training that you take, you get $20 a month. But between those three categories, you can only earn a max through FDLE of $130. But add that $130 to a bachelor's degree, and you're getting $280 extra a month. So that's a great benefit. Here's my little pitch to get you to apply. That QR code takes you straight to the application. If you want to write down my contact information there and send me an email if you have any questions or want to talk, more about this and get more in depth, I'd be more than happy to speak to anybody about this. So if anybody has any other questions, I'm here.